is called Peabody. Peabody, Massachusetts. Not Peabody or Peabody. It's called Peabody, Massachusetts. And I was so blessed to have 2 visitors from Peabody, Massachusetts this last week at Acorns and Threads. Yes, welcome to Stitch Roadies. This is a fun time, I think, with stitching and stitchers. Yes, so this last week at Acorns and Threads, okay, first of all the stitch time all ended up in 1 week, and now this week there's no stitch meetups that I know of. Anyway, last week I had another couple of friends stop in when I was at Stitch Day at Acorns and Threads from Peabody, Massachusetts. John and Jean. I have been online friends with them from all the way back in the Quilt Roadie days, and it is so fun to see them on both Quilt Roadies and Stitch Roadies. And now we are just wanting to be creating and to meet up and have some stitchy time together, and it was wonderful. They were on an extended vacation and they did that river cruise down the Columbia. I want to know all about that. And they came to Acorns and Threads on a stitch day so that we could hang out together. And I mean, you know that they are a great couple. She shares her stash, her quilting stash with him. I mean, really? I am not that great. I don't know if I would be nervous for G to come in here. I would be nervous. But today I decided I needed to do floss tube so I could clean my room, because it literally looks like a bomb went off in it. Between what happened in my brain, I just let it run away on the hyper focus thing. I have quilt stuff all over. I have cross stitch stuff all over, and I have been spending my time practicing Peabody. Peabody. Say it with me, because you don't want to say it wrong. Peabody, Massachusetts. Yeah. It was great, though, because Janine, who's the proprietress of Acorns and Threads, is from that part of the country. And so she knew exactly where they were and where they were from. And just to listen to them talk with their accent, that Massachusetts accent, it was like so lovely. And it was fun because they got to shop. And right now in the shop, can get over here, there's like a whole, in the annex where we stitch as a group, there one whole wall is filled with things on sale, charts on sale. No, yeah, don't want to do that. I don't want to do that because I've done it too many times already. But you may want to do that. Anyway, they brought John and Jean, who, John is the quilting, quilting grandfather in my brain. He's retired and he has been taking up quilting, and he makes all kinds of things. I mean, he's just so prolific. And he made a few years back, he made a postcard, the most awesome postcard of a bear, and I had it framed and it's hanging over above my cutting table. But they brought me such lovely things. So let me just show you this bag. Oh, this bag. Oh, look at, it's got bee fabric. It is amazing. And it has his label in there. It's quilted. Oh, beautiful bag. And then Jean made a project bag that is like the biggest project bag I own now. And look at, she embroidered the United States. Because cross-country friends, because that's what we're on opposite sides of the country. And then look at this side. This is so big that the project that I know is going to go on the little charms. The project that I know I'm going to put in here is going to be one of the Hawk Run Hollows, because this is a big one. Now, I shouldn't say that this is my favorite present, but John made this, and I absolutely love this. They sell at like a craft fair, farmer's market type stuff back where they live. But you could probably contact him. He's the quiltfather@gmail.com. This thing is great because I use, on my counter by the sink, I have one of those padded drain, it's like a towel thing or something, soaks up the water, and I have like 3 of them, and when they get gnarly I throw it in the wash and put the next one out and stuff. He made one, so it's like a pretty one. So here it is. Isn't that adorable? And then he put the padded towel on the back, and look at, it's quilted. But the most interesting thing he told me, which I'm putting it in my file. Yeah, I do have one. It's not always organized, and sometimes the drawers lock and I have to try to figure out who has the key. But I've got it in there in the file, is that when he turned this inside out, you know, and you get this edge, and when you turn it inside out, it's kind of it's like wonky a little bit because you can tell where you turned it inside out. Yeah, no. He leaves this seam open and turns it inside out there, and then sews it down. So that, I mean, if you ever envelope a quilt, yeah. Great tip, great tip. So I wanted to do a video today, mainly because I wanted to show this to you, but I want to use it, so I had to, you know, yeah. Whatever. But it was so wonderful seeing them, and they sent a book to G, which is amazing, by this photographer in Massachusetts, and it is stunning because G has been big dive back into his photography, which I just love, you know, because I don't just have one craft, you know, I have quilting, I have cross stitch, I have cross stitch collecting, I have fabric hoarding, embroidery, wool stitching, all kinds of, and so he also has a variety of things that he has liked to do, but photography kind of took the back seat for a long time. We always, I mean, for, let's see, 2 or 3 houses, we actually had a dark room in our, built into our house, and you just knew when the light was on. You didn't open the door, and he would, I mean, he has beautiful photography, and he's had photographs displayed at the Carmel Art Museum. For a year, they hung in a county building in the public area. He really has an eye for photography, but then, you know, life moves on, and he's, you know, he plays music by ear, so he has a lot of these kind of unusual talents. Not unusual, but different. I mean, he doesn't cross stitch, so yeah, whatever. So kind of when it got harder and harder to get the materials to actually develop your own pictures and manipulate them the way you would want them to be printed. He kind of moved away from that, and started doing other things, woodworking, cars, camping, hiking. And then this winter, started getting back into photography, and he really does have an exceptional eye for photography. And I love that because my dad was a photographer back in the day. And so I have some really cute pictures of me as a little girl, because my dad was a photographer. Oh, how did I get off on that? I don't know. But, yeah, so they gave him, I know how I got him. So they sent this beautiful book by this photographer of Massachusetts. And it's just wonderful to see a different side of the country. We are blessed. I just saw this one picture here. We are blessed in our family with unusual people. Unusual people. Our gene pool is unusual. It's an unusual gene pool. And because of that, I'm just going to put on pause, and because I want to go get something to show you. Okay, so stay tuned. Back. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Unusual people in our family. And it's interesting how things come out. Because you think of, like, neither of my sons cross stitches or quilts. I'm not sure who is going to carry on the torch that I've started here, but they have talents in different ways. So my oldest is an artist, and he graduated from the Art Institute of Seattle, and that's where he went. And in his life, he's built a studio, an art studio in his garage. And my younger son is, his art is coming out. It's interesting because it's really different. His art side is coming out in his garden. Yeah, he's very much into his garden, and he plans games. So he writes books for D&D or Pathfinder games. I know nothing about that other than I see the books. And so he's written all of these books for these games. And I think it's an online, and this is his logo right here, if you ever see it. But if you're interested in that, I'll put a link in the drop-down box where you could, if you have someone in your family that plays those games and you want to get them a surprise gift or something, I'll have a link down there where you can buy a book. But yeah, so the younger one, who is he's a math brain, he also writes these gaming books, which are really cool. And I think a while ago I showed you, oh yeah, this one here. This one here is a total crack up, because this is the one where he made, and he does it in collaboration with other people. This one is dedicated to my mother. So there she is. She is on the cover. She would be amazed that she is on the cover of a gaming book. Yeah. Yeah. So, it totally cracks me up because I think she would love that. She's a doctor, scientist in this game. And so across here, she has test tubes in her belt. Yeah. And superpowers, which I don't think that's made up. I think she did have superpowers, And So it's kind of interesting because our family line is filled with creators of different things. Like G's father actually spun and carded and dyed, hand dyed wool, fleece, and then weaved and ultimately crocheted. So it's kind of interesting how families, whatever interests you, where it will land in another generation. I don't even know how I got on this thread. Do you? I don't know. Okay, so now back to whatever I was doing. I did get no. If you're new to the channel, this is a channel about cross stitch and what one is stitching on and what one has accumulated. Yeah. But P.S., it's also a lot of BS. So hang in there. This last week, though, was great stitching days. Absolutely great stitching days. So I told you about Peabody, Massachusetts, and the visitors I had from there. I'm going to keep saying it until it's like embedded in my mind because it always wants to say it differently. And then I stop and I say, no, this is how you say it. We also had Mountain Stitchers, which is a group that's about 20 minutes from here. We meet at a community church, and it's just people from all over the general area. Beth Twist of Heartstring Samplery started the group, and we just have a great time there, and it's just lovely. It's lovely being with other stitchers, to not only be enabled, but to be inspired. That's what I want. The better word is inspired. And so the things I was inspired by this last week at Mountain Stitchers was this particular fan that I got on Amazon. I don't know if you can QR code that or not, but Janine had it blowing on her because we you wouldn't think that Sandy, Oregon, that's right next to Mount Hood, you'd need air conditioners. So the church we meet in has fans, ceiling fans, but not really air conditioned, and it was pretty warm. It was in the 90s this last week. And so Janine from Acorns and Threads had that fan blowing on her. She did not blow it on me or anybody else, but we all ordered one because several of us are going to the Attic Needlework for Sampler Symposium in Phoenix, Arizona in August. August. Yeah. I think it's 105 there now. Yeah, so ordered that. And then Helen and Sarah, who were stitching at Mountain Stitchers, both had beautiful little jewelry box cases, and I knew that I was going to be making myself a new one. This also came from Amazon. There's absolutely no code on it, but there's the brand name of it. And the reason I wanted this was because I was going to do hashtag Cracker Virus Sal. Everybody's doing crackers. Cracker this, cracker that. Everybody wants to do the Stacy Nash crackers. But I am going to, I started one on 56 count, and I'm going to continue doing them on 56 count. And this is the one I want to do. I also have cute little pins that I got at Acorns and Threads from the Primitive Hair. So she needs to be like tiny. I'm making her a tiny pillow because when I saw Sarah and Helen had cannibalized their jewelry boxes in such a way that I would have been too scared to do, but now I'm going to have two people that know what they're doing help me. And so here's the green box that Lily will be sleeping in. And so I have to redo all of that. I've got to find the perfect fabric. And so it's not always about cross stitch, but I did pick up a couple more charts. One was another prairie schooler on that, the accumulation from the estate sale that someone brought last month. The leftovers were reorganized and brought back, and so we had an opportunity to look again. And I found a blackbird, not a blackbird, a Bonnie Sullivan all through the night blackbird chart, and prairie schooler that I didn't have. So that was great. And then Janine had this come in, and this was Jeanette Douglas's design, and the summer is released, and so there are four seasons and specialty threads, and I have the fabric for that. Fiber on a Whim, Moonstone, Seasons in the Garden. So that is going to be a start, maybe the first day of summer. First day of summer is not till June 20th, I think. I didn't start this one, so that's good. I think I'm doing okay. What I took to Mountain Stitchers was my library stitch, but I literally only got 10 stitches on it. Yeah, I literally only got 10 stitches. So, but I do love this. I do love this. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Oh, my start. Let's see. My start is Mary Duckworth's Resting Stag. This is in honor of my mother's birthday, which was June 8th. She would have been 95. And so I just have a little bit of a start on the border. And I'm using as my needle book one that Jean from Peabody, Massachusetts. Yes. You're going to get tired of me saying that, aren't you? But she made this needle book where one side is Oregon and the other side is Massachusetts. So and it has my initials there. Isn't that cute? So that stays with my mother's stitch. Okay, so let's see, what else can I entice you with? I'm going to be kidding this one up because, oh, Queenie by the Artsy Housewife. And you know, she's coming to the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. I'm very excited about that. And I'm doing it on XJU Design linen 36 count brown sand. It is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And so I just need to get the floss together for this one, because I want to start that soon. I want to start all the things, you know. Get them all started so I have stuff flying in the wintertime. Flying in the wintertime. Anywho, it has been, this last week we had a couple days in the 90s. Yeah. Today is not as hot. But, so I've had to do a lot of watering of my plants. Yeah, I've had to do a lot of watering, which is okay. That's okay. We love that. And I'm just looking at everything that's laying around here. Well, Nina will be very happy to know that the mug rug she sent me is on the armrest of my recliner where I'm stitching, so I am putting stuff on it. It's so gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. Anywho, I have a lot going on because coming up shortly is the Quilters Affair and the Outdoor Quilt Show in Sisters, Oregon, and that is going to be a full-on party. So I've got a lot there. I want to get, my designated stitch is just coming along beautifully. I cannot wait till I finish that, which should be in, I would think, in the next couple of months, depending on how much is going on around here. I am at the bottom third, and there's something about a designated stitch. For those of you that have not tried it yet, it's one project, usually a larger project that I have going, that I commit to. I full on am in a relationship with every evening that I'm home. And I have to make no decisions. I know that that's the one I'm going to stitch on every evening. And currently it's with watching Midsummer Murders, which is a British show. There's not only, there's something in the cadence of it and the commitment to it that brings me peace. I don't have to worry. I don't have to think. I know I'm going to sit down and stitch on that. And then I move on to, I pick another designated stitch. It's worked really good. It's worked really good. And I am enjoying that stitching time very much. It's a peaceful time in the evening for me. So I will be continuing that forever. I know that that's something that I want to do forever. I can stitch on whatever I want the rest of the time, but in the evening, it's whatever the designated stitch is. And there's something very beautiful about that. There's something very beautiful. I can't quite explain it, but yeah, it's very, very wonderful. But I do know I have a lot of new starts coming up. I just want to start all the things, and I'm okay with that. I have all kinds of things started. I have more sales than I thought I did, but you know, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. And some stitchy workshops coming up, which are going to be great. So that's it. That's it for today. I'm just looking around to make sure I didn't forget anything. This is a very busy time of year for our family. We have birthdays. You know, it's hard to believe that if my mother was still alive, she'd be 95. And I know that she would be as sharp as a tack and be ruling the kingdom. Yeah, it was a wonderful experience to know that I had a conversation with her on the day that she passed. and she was on her way to a sailboat race. In fact, she passed away in the race on the sailboat. Yeah, that whole Coast Guard going out to get her she would have loved that. Well, she did love it. Give me a break. She did love it. But, you know, when you think about your family and sometimes the struggles of parents and children, but there's a lot of blessings in there. And so at this point, I am just focusing on the blessings and grateful for where I'm at in life, because I didn't get here on my own, did I? Yeah. No, some of you helped me get some of this cross-stitch stuff. I know I've been enabled big time. So anyway, you all take care. Keep stitching. Take moments for your garden. Take moments for a nice cup of coffee or tea. Yeah. And we'll see you here next time. And you know, I love you guys. Even those who live in Peabody, Massachusetts.